Hello everybody, Toastbomb here. Today we're going to be analyzing my gameplay for my second live commentary of Throwdown. So, if you want to see that gameplay, the live commentary, or you want to see my first one and my first analysis of the first gameplay, then please feel free to do so and check that out, because it'll be in the description. So anyways, let's get right into this. 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, right off the bat here, I get denied by my teammate going top mid, because he sprints and completely blocks me off, so I end up taking this alternative route. Now, I've experimented with this route a little bit myself, and I've seen some other people do it, and it's not actually that bad of a route to take. You might think because, oh, you make the huge lift noise, everyone's going to know where you're coming from and they're just going to nade you. That's actually a lot of times not how it ends up going. Usually they've already used their grenades by that point, so they can't get that easy bank nade. And then also, a lot of times they're already in a fight with someone else on your team, so you can just take this really unique angle that they're not ready to defend for and just demolish them. So it's actually pretty awesome. Now right here, you notice that I'm not pushing up. I saw a guy top mid earlier. I just killed a guy in blue street, and I could have easily pushed out in either one of those positions, but what I do is I wait for a teammate to spawn next to me, because I know that it's pretty likely that a teammate is going to spawn next to me, because that is a very common spawn. If teammates are near that blue or red ramp, you'll spawn there constantly, all the time. If you get an AFK stuck in blue or red ramp, those people will spawn there constantly because there's such little lines of sight on that specific point, and Halo 4 is so influenced by line of sight and where your teammates are that if someone's standing there or near there, a teammate is going to spawn there. So if you need to push down close street, even if you're with randoms, what you can do is just wait around for someone to spawn next to you, because they pretty much will. And you can just like automate a push without needing communication doing that, and that's a really helpful thing. Now also, another little example of that was, you'd see with the sniper, I held back with the sniper. I didn't push up, I waited for the enemy to come to me instead of me coming to the enemy. And you'll also notice throughout pretty much this entire game, I keep the streets. I try to hold the streets, and I try to keep my teammates around the streets, because that is where you want to hold. You might think that it's top mid for Haven, but it's really not. A lot of Halo games, top mid is awesome and is the place to be. It's that power position, but not so much in this game. The streets are really, really important to hold. Now that push, why that push failed right there, was because we were down on numbers. And we only had 2 people, and they had 3 people, so we were down on numbers. So whenever you were up numbers, you pretty much almost always want to push. And then right here, I do the dumbest thing. I do the stupid reload thing. Watch this. Up. Oh yeah, and I reload. Why did I reload? I don't know. I had a hard light shield. I probably should have popped that up because I was low shields and I knew someone was potentially coming bottom mid. I probably should have just backed up and used the hard light shield, because I had just picked it up. But anyways, back to the numbers thing. If you have numbers, you almost always want to push. Oh, and look at these shots. Ew, gross, ew, gross. So what I should have done there is I should have kept my height advantage. I knew there was a guy coming from bottom closed, and he's coming up the ramp, because I could hear him. I could hear his footsteps. What I should have done, instead of just jumping straight after him, is I should have stayed behind that railing. Because if you can get like some, I don't know, torso level railing, that is awesome. That is so good, because that means almost half of your body is gone from the enemy player, and they have like half the size of the target that you do. And on top of that, in that specific case, you have height advantage. You have everything going for you in that position, except for you're exposed from a couple angles. That's the only thing. So I should not have dropped down there earlier. I should have stayed up and fought from that upper angle behind the railing, because that would have been a lot better. And here, again, I don't chase after the kill. It's a lot of times better just to keep your positioning instead of chasing after a kill. If I would have went bottom street there, he could have had teammates that had been spawning blue ramp and also following him through bottom street, or even just through street. Like, I could have just got completely ambushed by going down that blue drop down, and I didn't. I kept my positioning. He did flank us. I should have expected the flank, but again, I kept my positioning, and it was almost a guaranteed death, or a very likely death, if I would have pushed and tried to kill that guy. And even if I did kill that guy, it wouldn't have been that helpful because I was in a crappy position. I couldn't support my teammates at that point. So it's better to keep a good position instead of just getting a single kill and getting yourself into a bad position. Almost always. Now, here, that was really sketchy, dude. I don't even know about how I didn't kill that guy. Here, no, I'm not. Never mind. That's later. Okay, here, yes, here I should not be sticking around blue. I have no teammates at blue. I just walked around there forever. I knew there was a guy around there. I was in a bad position. A teammate had just died there, so it's likely that his teammates are going to be chasing after that spot, trying to find out where I am. I'm probably also getting called out at the same time too, so I should just booked it out of there, probably even through top mid. Even though top mid is a really bad spot a lot of times, it probably would have been a better spot to be at because my teammates were spawning over at red, so I could have even supported them if they were having battles at red street, or I could have even got crossfire onto the closed area. But obviously I wouldn't have wanted to stay around there for very long because top mid is so exposed to so many angles. Like if someone spawns at open, which is very common, even if you're at top mid, it doesn't block that spawn very much because you're not really looking over into that area. And even if you are, they can still spawn in the bottom open area. So they can spawn there. They can get really easy nades if you're on the landing, which is a common place that people like to hang out on if they're top mid. Like you can see right here, I get that one-shot guy, but I shouldn't stay here for very long because they could be spawning like almost anywhere around me and be getting major shots on me. So it's good that I'm getting off of that position because it's not good to hold by yourself for very long. But I do get a pretty good flank here, and that's pretty important, and something I should be doing more often is flanking through the bottom streets area, because a lot of times people don't expect that. That is a very, very good place to flank, and I haven't really done that too much. Flanking around through that bottom street and going up closed ramp, but it's happened to me a lot, and it's definitely gotten the other team control of closed a lot more often, and it's no good. It's no good when that happens. So, again, I'm not going to push top mid here because that is just a silly idea. So I just wait for my teammate, see if we can get some shots. But as you can see, like, they're just getting hit from every angle here. I'm jumping up here. We got a teammate over the blue side. They are just getting pounded from every single angle because there's not super great cover that covers you from like every angle. And right there, I should not have sprinted. That was the dumbest sprint in my life because I knew there was a guy coming up the ramp potentially, or possibly coming up the lift on red drop down, although I probably would have heard his footsteps if he was. But I knew there's a guy around there, and I knew that he knew where I was, so I shouldn't have been sprinting around. That was a silly idea. I could have avoided that death for sure, and maybe even got the kill on the guy, and then also probably gotten behind that pillar in time so that other dude that popped up on the ramp didn't kill me. Here is kind of a bad spot. You can see I'm getting shot from a lot of angles. There's a guy at the street, there's guys at the ramp, they lift up. I get really lucky and kind of fortunate that I don't die from a grenade or anything and I can run away, but that was a really scary situation. You see right there, I find out where my teammates are and I run after my teammates. If I would have pushed bottom blue, that probably would have been a bad spot because the other people wouldn't have been distracted by my teammates. They probably could have heard my footsteps. They would have known exactly where I am. This guy's just clueless, so I have no idea. But again, you can see I was top mid there by myself. I rushed up there, and I just got completely surrounded. So avoiding top mid, unless you're just doing it for a very small amount of time, is probably a better thing to do. And then in hindsight, I probably should have baited that sniper just because I knew probably someone's going to be going after it, or someone else is going to be baiting it because it's such a close game and they know someone's going to be going after that sniper. So, anyways, there's a little bit of my analysis as to what I did right. I focused a little bit more on what I did right this time as opposed to the last time also. because this was a much more solid gameplay where a lot of stuff went a lot better, and it was actually pretty crazy. Even though I was with randoms, our teamwork clicked pretty damn well. Like, we were all communicating, we were having a good time, everyone was listening to each other. I said push with me, and we all pushed, and it just worked out really well. And when you get into that state, that's really important. Like, team chemistry is so key, and I won't go into that right now because that's going to make this video like 25 minutes long, but that is a huge thing. If you've ever felt that just perfect mixture of everything's working, I'm calling out, and stuff is happening, that is awesome, and you want to try and keep that, because that doesn't come around very often. Just like this, especially with randoms, it does not happen very often. So anyways, that'll be it for this one. If you liked it, you can leave a like or a comment, or you can subscribe, because I post new Halo videos every day. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.